Hello and welcome back to my knitting podcast. My name is Jessica McDonald and I am coming to you from the mountains of Idaho. You can find me on Ravelry as Jessica M Knits and on Instagram as Jessica M Knits, and you can find my website jessicamcdonalddesigns.com where I have my blog and all of my patterns for sale as well if you don't like Ravelry. But links to all of those things in the description box below, along with my newsletter sign up, so you can sign up for my newsletter. It's the best place to be to learn about new pattern releases. You'll get the best discount and it's just the best place to be. So let's dive into the knitting. First, I'm going to tell you what I'm wearing. I've shown this off as a finished object before in the last episode, but I'm wearing it again because my dress came that I intend to wear it with. I have other dresses I can wear it with, but I decided to treat myself to a new dress. So this is Wyethia. This tee that I'm wearing is Wyethia. It is knit in Shibui Knits Reed, which is a fingering weight linen yarn. It's a drop shoulder cropped tee with a lace hem. I'll stand up so you can see the hem. Here's the hem. There are short rows, so it's lower in the back than in the front. You can see the shape on that. And I cropped it so it fits right at the waist of the dress, which is right at my natural waist. So it looks really pretty. Hang on, let me move my chair. There, now you can see it. I don't have enough space to do a twirl. My husband and I went out last night and we took the final photos for it and they turned out gorgeous. So I'll be sharing those on my Instagram account. Hang on, let me get myself settled. On my Instagram account in the coming weeks. This one will be released. I've got it down for July 15th. I might change that date because I'm gonna go spend some time with my family the first half of that week. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to release it that day. It might be the 16th or 17th, but anyway, July 15th, hopefully. So if you want to make sure you don't miss it, then sign up for my newsletter. That's the best place to be to learn about all my new pattern releases. Anyway, I'm just so delighted with this whole outfit that I had to wear it to podcast today because it's super cute and it's comfortable and it's cool and it's just perfect for summer. So that's what I'm wearing. Now I'll jump into my finished objects. So in my last podcast episode, I showed you all of my Woodland Ramble sweaters. And if you didn't watch that one and you want to see all those sweaters, it's the previous episode, very helpfully titled All the Woodland Ramble Sweaters, or something very similar to that, if not word for word. But I was still working on the accessories that are going with the collection and they're all done now. So I'm going to show you the hat first. It was not quite done when I filmed the last episode and now it is done. So this is the snowy hat. I was originally going to just take the motif off the Ponderosa Sweater and just slap it around the middle, but then I came up with this idea and I'm much happier with it. So this hat, along with the snowy mittens, uses the leftovers from the Ponderosa Sweater because you always have so many leftovers when you knit a colorwork sweater, particularly for children because it's smaller. So I decided to come up with accessories that use up those leftovers and find them a nice happy home. So this is the Ponderosa hat, and you start off with a folded brim and you have a forest of pine trees and gray sky with snowflakes all over it. The contrast between Goland and Bolio, which are the gray and the white that I've used here, it's not super strong, so the snowflakes are kind of muted. It looks like they're showing up really well on camera. They're kind of muted, which makes me really happy. I really like the finished effect in the hat. And then you go up to a big white snowflake, or cloud if you would rather call it that, in the crown. So it's kind of got sections coming down in as you work the decreases. I'm trying to show off the crown. It's not super easy to show off a crown. And then I made a pom-pom for it out of the white. So this hat uses Durarum Natura Giliat in the colors Forite is the green, Goland is the gray, and Bolio is the white. If I'm pronouncing those colors names wrong, I'm sorry, they're French. I don't know how to pronounce all the French words. So, I'm really pleased with this. And my bauble, let me see if it'll focus on the bauble. Come on, it wants to see my face. Will it? No? Okay. I don't want to mess with the focus too much. But anyway, so I have never before made a bauble that has stayed together and stayed on the hat, which I think this one's kind of flopping a little loosely. I don't know if they do that normally or not, but I have done it with this one apparently. So I'm pretty pleased with myself. I used a different yarn to tie it with, so I have a bauble maker and I used the Durare Natura Juliet as the main part of the bauble, and then I have some Cascade 220 in just a plain undyed white, and I used that to tie the bauble and to tie it to the hat because I thought it would be a stronger yarn and would make it more likely that my bauble would stay together and stay on the hat, and I think it's worked quite nicely. You can't see the Cascade 220 down there inside the bauble, so that's nice. I tied it on. I didn't weave in the ends just in case. I wanted to make it easier to remove if I needed to, so I just tied a knot here to keep the bauble on. Works fine because it's just inside the hat. And then to make the bauble super nice and poofy, I steamed it after I cut it open. I just got my tea kettle going and I held this bauble with my tongs, my cooking tongs, and held it in the steam for a while until the ends start to open up and poof up, and it made my bauble super poofy, super nice. Anyway, I'm super proud of this bauble, as you can tell. Very happy I actually managed to make one. I was really worried it was just going to disintegrate when we were doing the photo shoot because every other bauble I've ever made has just fallen apart. So this one's still on, and that makes me very happy. So that's the snowy hat. Perfect for Christmas too. My tree obsession lends itself well to the Christmas knitting niche. Anyway, this one is written in 4 sizes from 2 to 4 years. Let's see, how do I do it? I do 2 to 6 years, 8 to 12 years, then adult small and adult large. So there's 4 sizes from a little kid all the way up to an adult large. So you can make this hat for anybody except a baby. Well, you could make them the smallest size so they could just grow into it. But anyway, so there's a snowy hat. I'm really pleased with it. We'll see what it looks like on. It's too small for me. It's wanting to slide up off my head, but then you can see how it looks. Anyway, super cute. Looks super cute on Talia. She's almost 8, and so it fits her just a tiny bit big. But there you go. There's the snowy hat. We took pictures this last weekend. I guess last weekend now because it's Saturday again. It's weekend again. We took pictures last weekend. I don't know if I mentioned this already in this podcast, so just don't mind me if I repeat myself. We took pictures last weekend and of the whole collection all together, and they turned out absolutely gorgeous. If you follow me on Instagram, which is Jessica M Knits, it's my username on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll already have seen a couple of the pictures from that photo shoot. Super cute. We went to the mountains. We went camping in the mountains, and right after the sun went down behind the ridge, we went and took our pictures. So just absolutely stunning. We're standing in front of a it's a creek bottom full of willows because there's a bunch of beaver ponds in it, and then you see the mountains up behind, and there's pine trees all around. Just absolutely stunning pictures. I am so pleased with them. Absolutely pleased. Except Aiden was supposed to also model his cedar sweater, but he just lost his mind. He was screaming bloody murder. He did not want to. So my husband just took him back to the tent and took his pants off, and he just collapsed onto the sleeping bags and fell fast asleep. That was it for him. He did not want to participate. So we took his pictures the next morning. So he's not in the group shots, but maybe he's there in spirit. He was happier that way. And then the next evening, of course, he was happy until, 10:30 at night. He wouldn't go to sleep, even though I wanted him to. So, toddlers, what do you do? Next, I'll show you the snowy mittens. The snowy mittens also use the leftovers from the Ponderosa sweater, and they are the same idea as the snowy hat, except they're a little bit different. This is size, so I do 2 to 4, 6 to 8, 10 to 12, and then an adult small. And this is the second size, or the third size. This is the third size, I think. No, this is the second size. I knit them a month ago, so I need a minute to remember. So the snowflakes on the snowy mittens are smaller, as you can see. It's just a single stitch, whereas on the hat, it's a 4-stitch grouping that the snowflake is worked over. So the snowflakes are smaller, and then in the smaller sizes, the trees are also smaller. So you see this has 3 levels in the tree, whereas the hat has 4 levels in it. So in the smaller sizes of the mitten, the trees are smaller, but then when you get up to the larger sizes of the mitten, the trees are bigger. But the snowflakes all stay just this size. And they go all the way up, and you just continue the snowflake pattern all the way up to the end of the finger. I didn't have you switch to white. I was really worried that if I made mittens that were just had a white tip at the end of the fingers, that they would just instantly be filthy and look disgusting, because they're on a little kid's hands. So I decided to let them stay gray, and then they won't show dirt as easily. Some practicalities in mitten knitting. So, these are super cute too. I love them. Absolutely love this set together. It's so cute. Like I said, perfect for Christmas. And it used the leftovers from the Ponderosa sweater. So the Ponderosa sweater is a size 8 that I made. And I had 3 balls of the main color, which is 4-8, 1 ball of Golan, which is the gray, and 1 ball of the white, which is the Bolio. And from those 5 total balls of yarn, I made a size 8 sweater, a hat, size 2 mittens, and then also a random size 1 mitten, I think was size 1, the other one that I made. And I still have a little bit of yarn left over, so I could probably make another pair of mittens from it. So I think that was pretty good for yardage. A good way to use up my leftovers, and a good way to get some good mileage out of that yarn. So these are perfect for leftovers. If you don't want to make the sweater, you just have random worsted weight leftovers laying around, this works perfectly for leftovers. So I'm really happy with these. I love these. Next up is the cowl. So if you have kids, you will know that they never want to zip their coat all the way up, like just to here, and that's it. And then their whole neck is just bare and cold because it feels like they're being choked or whatever. They don't like the constricting feeling of it, but they're just so cold. Oh, it just makes me feel cold to look at the back of their neck and it's all bare. They seem fine, but mothers will do what mothers will do. So I wanted to make a cowl that would fit nice and snugly and warm, and you could pop it on, and it's stretchy and cozy, and it doesn't make them feel like they're being choked, but it keeps their neck warm, because that makes a huge difference in how warm you are in the winter. I also wanted to use up the leftovers from the cedar sweater, which is knit in Durarum Natura Ulisse, which is the sport weight yarn. So I used the leftovers from the cedar sweater to make the Juniper Cowl. So this is knit as one long tube in color work. So you knit a long tube and then you Kitchener the ends together. But as you Kitchener the ends together, you twist it one time to make a Mobius cowl, which gives us this fold in front, which is actually incredibly practical because it's higher in the back, on the back of their neck, and then it comes down under their chin, it goes back up again. So it is nice and high on the back of their neck, but it doesn't right up over their chin and up over their mouth. So it'll fit really comfortably in addition to looking super duper cute. So the colors in this are, the gray is the main color, is Goland. Then there's Forite again, the dark green, and then caramel. So there is a motif here. You can see here's the end of one of the star repeats. So you run through this motif here. This is the repeat here. And you just repeat this several times. I think it's 3 times for the smallest, 4 for the middle size, 5 for the adult size, if I'm remembering correctly. It's in the pattern, obviously. So you just repeat that color work motif multiple times. So it's super fun to knit. I didn't want to be done. I didn't want to put it down. It was just addicting to just move through all of these motifs. It was so, so fun. You have different motifs and different colors, and none of them are really hard. It's just really enjoyable to knit. So this one is in 3 sizes. This is the smallest size, which is a 2 to 6 years size. Then there's an 8 to 12 year size and an adult size. So this cowl you can make for anyone, literally anyone. For yourself, for a little kid. It is a bit big on Aiden. He's 18 months old. It is a little bit bulky on him. So it's probably not small enough for a baby, but you know, they grow into things so fast. But it fits really nice on Jimmy and Brenna. I put it on Talia too, and it fits her pretty well. She's almost 8, but it's a little bit, it doesn't quite come up to her jawline. So I wanted something that would cover the whole neck, you know. So she would have been better off with the second size, the 8 to 12 year size. So this is Juniper. Super cute, super fun to knit, super cozy. Also super perfect for using up leftover yarn. If you had a bunch of sport weight leftovers, you could do every section of color work a different color and it would look fantastic. Anyway, I really enjoyed coming up with these accessories using the leftovers from the sweaters, and it looks really cute together. The whole set looks really nice together. I have some pictures of them all together that turned out much nicer than what I'm doing now. But anyway, super duper cute, super duper fun to knit, and I am just absolutely tickled to death with how good this whole collection looks. So all of the patterns have been written. The accessories are now all into test knitting. I think Cedar is still in test knitting. Yeah, it is. Nearly done. And I need to now put together my book. So if you haven't been following along with this whole collection, the Woodland Ramble Collection is a collection of 4 kids sweaters along with these accessories that I'm going to be putting into a hard copy book, an actual printed book, and it will also be available as an ebook and as individual patterns, and I'm planning to release that this fall, aiming for October. So sign up for my newsletter, obviously. It's the best place to be. So yeah, here's the accessories from the Woodland Ramble Collection. Juniper, the snowy hat, and the snowy mittens. And then I'm going to talk about my only sweater, FO. So the only sweater I have finished between last episode and this one, which may seem really strange. I know I'm a crazy big sweater knitter, but I've only finished one. The only sweater I finished in the time, the last month, is this one. I don't know if I showed this to you last time or not, and I did not have enough time to look through my last episode and check and see where I was. So I'm just going to pretend I haven't showed this to you at all and tell you all about it. So this one is called Skift. My husband made fun of that name last night because a skift is a light dusting of snow or a light rain, and he was like, well, why didn't you just name it Skiff? I was trying to come up with a name that had a few fewer pattern results when you searched for it on Ravelry, because there's a lot of things I really love the name of, but then I go on Ravelry and there's like 680 patterns that already use that name, and so I don't want to use that name. So I went with Skift because it only had like 5 results. So this is Skift, and it is a sweater for babies and children. It starts at 3 months old and goes up to 12 years old. And it is designed for someone who is a beginning colorwork knitter and wants to make an amazing, gorgeous sweater that isn't super hard to make. That's what I had in mind as I was designing this sweater. So you can see the motifs are very simple. You start super simple, super simple, super simple, and then you have this larger one at the bottom, and it grows down into that big diamond shaped one. There are no floats longer than 3 stitches, and that's one of the big things with learning how to do color work, is learning how to manage your floats and not have them be too tight or too loose. So this one will be really easy for helping you practice managing the tension in your floats, because the longer the float is, the harder it is to manage the tension in them. So if I keep it nice and short, like 3 stitches or less, then it's really easy to manage how tight or how loose you're holding those floats as you're knitting. It makes it a lot easier to do. All of the motifs are really, really easily memorized. Really easily memorized. It has a simple repeat, very, very simple repeats, which is another thing that makes it incredibly easy to knit. Then you can focus more on the actual mechanics of knitting color work instead of trying to remember your pattern of how many of which color you do next. And then all of the increases are worked in these main color rounds. So you can see that there's a round of just plain brown between each section up here, each of these little sections, and the increases are worked in there so that you don't have to keep track of your color work patterning and your increases at the same time on any one round. So you only have to keep track of colors, or you only have to keep track of increases, which makes it a lot easier to knit. And the increases are also worked on a really, really simple repeat, like knit 3, increase, knit 3, increase, or knit 4, increase, knit 4, increase. So it's really easy to remember the repeat. There's nothing difficult about it. So this one is for you. If you want a really easy colorwork sweater, or even just a really easy sweater to knit, this one is designed for you. This one is knit in Bare Naked Wools, and it's a collaboration with them, so they sent me the yarn. This is their Better Breakfast DK, and it is merino and de-haired alpaca. I think it's 80% merino and 20% de-haired alpaca. I'm not entirely sure if that's the correct ratios, but that's what it's made out of. You know how alpaca is always so fuzzy and floofy? It's kind of almost like mohair, but slightly less intense. It can be really irritating to wear alpaca. I can't wear alpaca because the fuzz just drives me insane. I also can't wear mohair because the fuzz is irritating to me. It doesn't matter that it's not prickly, you know, it doesn't like stab you, but it's still, that fuzziness can be really irritating sometimes. And the de-haired alpaca gives you all of the warmth and silkiness of the alpaca, but it gets rid of that fuzziness and it gets rid of that irritation. So you can see, I'm going to try to see if you can see still wants to focus on me. I don't want to mess with the focus too much because I feel like in previous episodes my face has been out of focus while I've been talking. But you can see, if I get my face out of the way, you can see that it's not super fuzzy. It has a softness to it, but it's not fuzzy. And it's not going to pill excessively because of that, and it's not going to be irritating. My neck is my most sensitive part of my body, and I can have it against my neck and it doesn't bother me. So the de-haired alpaca is pretty nice. It makes the yarn a little bit silky and a little bit more drapey. The alpaca does that. So alpaca is also incredibly warm. I don't know how they de-hair the alpaca. I don't know the mechanics of how that works, but I can attest to the fact that it's really nice in a yarn afterwards. So this is Skift. We also took pictures, well, Aiden and I. When I say we, I generally am referring to my husband too, but I guess he was not there. He was just playing with the big kids in the creek, and I was taking pictures of Aiden. This photographs incredibly well. Just the striking contrast between the white contrast color and the dark main color looks really good. So took pictures of this one as well this weekend next to a creek. The pictures turned out really nice. So I'll be sharing those on Instagram as well. So this is Skift. It's a DK weight yarn, in case I didn't mention that. And here's a better look at the color work. This one is also currently in test knitting, and I have see this middle row of note cards up here on my poster board. That's every single pattern I have in process right now. That's a lot. That is a lot for me. And the 3 accessories are sharing one note card because I don't have enough space for more up there. So Skift is coming out August 10th. I write all of the essential dates up there so I can keep track of them all easily at a glance because there's so many of them right now that I just can't keep them all straight. So Skift is coming out on August 10th. And once again, sign up for my newsletter if you want to make sure you don't miss it and to get the best discount. And this is also coming out in collaboration with Bare Naked Wools because this is their yarn. So this is super cute. So many people on Instagram loved this one, absolutely loved it. And I had quite a few people ask me for a grown-up version of it instantly after I shared the first picture of it. So I reached out to Bare Naked Wools again and asked them if they wanted to do another collaboration with me and turn this into an adult size pattern. And they said yes, which is very exciting. I have really enjoyed working with them. My Snowberry pattern uses their yarn as well. So I am going to turn this into an adult pattern as well. I'm going to have to add some more stuff to the motif. As you can see, if I just left it like this, it would be pretty shallow. So I'm going to add more to it. I'm not sure if I'll add it above or below this big diamond section, but I'm going to add a little more color work to it, still keeping in mind the simplicity of it and trying to keep it 3 floats at a maximum, really easily memorized. I'm going to add some more color work in the yoke and write adult sizes, and then in the adult sizes I'm going to add some German short rows to raise the back neck, which I haven't done in this one because German short rows can be a little more complicated and I really wanted this one to be a super easy pattern. But if you really don't want to do the German short rows, you don't have to. I strongly recommend that you do, but if you really don't want to, you don't have to. It's just the German short rows raise the back of the neck. Like if you take any crew neck shirt you have and you lay it out, the front is lower than the back, and that makes it fit more comfortably around the neck. So the back of your neck is higher than the front of your neck. So that's why there are German short rows in the back neck of sweater patterns, in case you didn't know. So this one will turn into an adult size. I'm going to work on that next month and have a goal of releasing the grown-up Skift in February. But this one will be out August 10th. So sign up for my newsletter, obviously. Obviously, I may have mentioned that a few times. Aiden's worn it a few times for naps already. I like to put him in a sweater during his naps because it's kind of cold in the house. So the sleeves are a little bit wrinkled already. It's so soft, it's so comfortable. I just love this sweater, and this yarn is amazing and gorgeous. So that is all of my finished objects right there. And now I will move on to show you my works in progress, which I only have one. So this is, I'm mid-row, so that's gonna be kind of hard to show you. This one is, I'm gonna finish this row while I'm talking about it. This one is called My Summer Adventure Sweater. I don't know if I showed it to you last time or not. I don't think I did because I podcasted right before we went on our family vacation, and then I started this on our family vacation. So I don't think you've seen this at all yet. So I got this yarn. This yarn is from Naughty Pine Fiber Company, and it is her Laramie Range worsted base. And I have been friends with Kayla on Instagram for quite a while, even before she started dyeing yarn a little more than a year ago. And she uses Wyoming yarn, so she gets her yarn bases from Mountain Meadow Wool, which is in Wyoming. She lives in Wyoming as well. Not all of her bases come from Mountain Meadow yarn, but many of them do. And the wool that Mountain Meadow Wool spins is grown in Wyoming, so it is entirely Wyoming yarn, grown in Wyoming, spun in Wyoming, dyed in Wyoming, and then shipped to me here in Idaho, and Idaho is right next to Wyoming. So I think it is the most local to me yarn that I have found. So it's very exciting. So I really wanted to use her yarn, and she has this Whiskey River colorway that I just fell absolutely in love with. She does really rich colors and really earthy colors. It's kind of her thing. So this is the Whiskey River colorway. It's a really vibrant, coppery, browny, orangey color, a burnished copper. Anyway, you can see it on the screen. It looks really nice. I really like it. I know I knit a lot of neutrals, a lot of neutrals. My sisters give me crap about it all the time. So this is a really nice rich color, and I'm gonna really enjoy having it in my wardrobe. It will go really well with all of my gray t-shirts. So this is called my Summer Adventure Sweater. It's not its official name. I don't have an official name for it yet. But this one, I have had the yarn since November of last year, and I was going to knit with it last winter, and then all of a sudden I decided to do the Woodland Ramble Collection, and so this one got bumped down the line, and then a few months ago I realized that this pattern actually was perfect for knitting whilst on summer adventures, because it's almost exclusively stockinette, so I can knit it in the car, I can knit it while we're driving on bumpy roads, I can knit it without looking, I can put it down in the middle of a row and go run and grab a toddler. So this is just perfect for on the go and summer adventure knitting, so that's why it's the Summer Adventure Sweater. It is a top-down raglan shaped cardigan. You can see it's open in the front, ta-da! And it has some garter stitch details. So along the raglan lines, it has this garter stitch detail. Just a little bit of detail. And then that garter stitch detail is going to be picked up in a few more spots on the sweater. I don't want to give away all my secrets quite yet. You'll see it as it grows. But this garter stitch, this very simple garter stitch detail is going to be kind of the theme of the sweater. So it adds a little cozy texture to it and a little nice detail to the raglan lines that's going to be in other parts of the sweater as well. So I'm about halfway through the body now. I started it at the end of May, right before we went on our family vacation. We went to Fossil Butte National Monument, which is in Wyoming, and then also to Dinosaurs National Monument, which is in Utah. And those are fantastic places to go if you have fossil obsessed kids or dinosaur obsessed kids. And my husband and I thought it was amazing as well, because you can see dinosaur fossils just there and right in front of you, and you can touch them, and it was just really cool. And at Dinosaurs National Monument, there are also a lot of petroglyphs made by the Native American tribes who lived there a long time ago. I believe most of them were done by the Fremont people, which was a culture that lived in that area about 1,000 years ago. So it's not kind of amazing, it's incredibly amazing to go see all this beautiful Native American rock art that's 1,000 years old, which is just mind-blowing and amazing. Anyway, so if you are in Utah, you should look that up, or even in Wyoming, in Colorado. You should check that out, because it's just right there. No, it's not all that far away from me. It was only about 7 hours from us. So that was really cool to go see. So anyway, aside talking about my family vacation, this is the Summer Adventure Sweater. Came with us camping last weekend as well. And I put a lot of length into it and a lot of dirt into the bottom of my knitting bag, and you know, I'm gonna so you can see. You're not going to be able to see it super well because this cable is kind of short. So it's going to hold the body bunched up, but you can kind of see the detail of it. And there's going to be a big shawl collar. I love shawl collars. Shawl collar and up front sweaters are kind of my jam. They're my go-to. So there we go. The summer adventure sweater. That's my only whip at the moment. If I can get it off without losing any stitches, we'll see if I can do that. So this is absolutely stunning yarn. Yeah, it's really soft. It's got an interesting construction where it's kind of woolen spun and kind of worsted spun, and it's really lofty and squishy, and I really love it. It's not going to be the last time I work with this yarn. It's gorgeous, and the colors that Kayla dyes up are absolutely gorgeous as well. So that's it for my actual in-process knitting whips. I do have a pattern that I'm in the process of writing right now. I think I'll give you a sneak peek. Can I give you a sneak peek? I'll hold it up a little bit. You can see a tiny bit of the swatch. This one is Ampersand Fibers Jensen DK. I believe it's called Jensen DK. This is another new yarn. If you know Shop La Mercerie, Jess of Shop La Mercerie came up with her own yarn base, and this is 100% American wool, started by a woman, a small woman-owned company, which I think is amazing. And this yarn is made for texture. So this sweater that I'm writing right now is got some pretty amazing gables on it. You're gonna love it. I'm in love with it. But I'm not gonna show it to you yet, because I'm still writing the pattern. I haven't even cast it on yet. Kind of eager to do that. So that's all of my knitting since last time I saw you guys. And I think I'm gonna leave it at that. And I'm gonna go and finish writing my pattern. Hopefully, I really, really want to cast it on right now, today. But I've got to finish writing the pattern first so I actually know what I'm knitting, you know? So, until next time, I think I'm going to leave you at that. Make sure you sign up for my newsletter if you haven't already. Hint, hint, sign up for my newsletter. And if you like this video, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel so that you see my future knitting podcasts and you can see more of this sweater next time. I'm sure I'll have part of it done next time. Ooh, I'll show you the back. I'll show you the back. Isn't that cool? Anyway, if you want to see that sweater, make sure you subscribe so you see my next podcast. I podcast about once a month. That's about all I have time for. And yeah, until next time, happy knitting everybody, and I hope you have a really fantastic summer. Bye!